Thanks for coming upstairs with me to put on some makeup and try the new products that were at the post office yesterday. Now, I've already primed my eyes and I've already done my eyebrows, but that's it. So let's get into this video for makeup. Got to put on some lip balm. I have all kinds of lip balms around the house and in my purse. And this is one of my favorites. It's by Blistex. So what came in the mail to the post office? My Jones Road Miracle Balm in the color Magic Hour. This has a much lighter smell than the foundation. Look at that sparkle. And I'm debating using this on my face instead of the WT foundation. So I'm going to set this aside. Same simplified packaging. I also got the face pencil. I got shade 7 and I got shade 6. So this is the shade 6. I think that's going to look really nice under my eyes. And this is the shade 7. I believe the shade 7 has more of a peach for the first color. They're not too far apart. So yeah, I could use both of these. And what I wanted to do was compare it with my L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Crayon Corrector. Let's look at these two together. And how about this one? So this ought to be interesting. I'm going to do one eye with the L'Oreal and the other eye with both of the pencils that I got from Jones Road. And I thought it would be really good in this video to talk about reprogramming a conditioned thought pattern or conditioned thoughts. I had to write that down. It jumped into my mind yesterday and I had to write that down. I wrote it down on this cute card that I have, the kitty becoming the lion. Reprogramming a conditioned thought pattern or conditioned thoughts. Is that possible? Well, I think it is possible. Yes, I think it's possible to do this, but it takes intention, number 1. 2, patience, not perfection, patience. And 3, looking at your progress. Because I have reprogrammed a lot of conditioned thoughts over the years. And so far it's been about, 2009 to now, over 10 years, 14 years that I've been working on this. And I really catapulted this reprogramming in 2019. And I am now reprogramming. But it is possible because I tend to be a reactive person. That's part of my personality. Very opinionated person. I tend to blurp out judgments without ill intent. It just happens. I tend to be a perfectionist, which means that I want everybody else around me to be a perfectionist too, and that's unrealistic. So how do we reprogram our conditioned thoughts? So let's get some of this makeup on before I get into that. Starting with the mint green that I'm going to wear today. Let me find a good brush here. And as you can see, I really brushed my palette. It's very light. And that's why I chose to wear this today. It's very light. Now, if I wanted to, I could go over it with a yellow, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to take the tip of this double-sided. I got this from Urban Decay in one of my palettes that I threw away, but I kept the brush. Their brushes are really nice if you get the full palette. Not the minis, but the big palettes. I love their brushes. In fact, I've done that quite a few times with makeup that I've purchased. All right, I have on as much as I want for my under eye eyeshadow. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. So excited I hit pan on this. I'm going to use this in my crease and this highlighter under my brow. So I'm going to take this is my Sigma fluffy brush. It's a crease brush, actually. Excellent, excellent brush. And I'm going to put this in the crease over the mint green. I'm not putting it on first. I'm putting it on second. And because genetics from my dad, because I have a wide berth from where my eyelashes meet my eyelid up to my eyebrow, I don't really need to bring anything over here to the corner unless I want that definition. But for every day, I don't need to do that. You're going to see my eyelids anyway. And thank you, Dad. My mother didn't even have this wide berth. I mean, she had a good eyelid span, but not like my dad. And it is French. So let's get on to the crayons. The under eye pencil. I'm going to use the True Match on my left eye. That's my dog in the background, just ignore it. And I'm just going to pounce this in with my finger. And then on this eye, I'm going to use the number 7 because that was recommended that I use the number 7 for my tear trough and for any blemishes that I might want to cover up. So I'm going to go into my tear trough. I can tell you right off the bat that the Jones Road pencil, which is significantly different in price, is probably going to last me longer because it has a stiffer application to it. So you can see that this is good for a corrector. So I'm going to pat that in with my finger. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I've got these new spots cropping up. And when I look in my magnifying mirror, I kind of freak out a little bit because it's tick season here in New Hampshire. And I worked outside over the weekend and my pets are bringing in some ticks. I love Bobbi Brown's aesthetic that as we age, we're moving beyond the thick makeup. And you guys know how much I love foundation. That is my weakness. If I'm going to spend a lot of money, it's going to be on foundation. I just ordered the Tinted Oleo Serum from Clarins. It should be coming in next week. Their website for uploading pictures and getting the correct color is flawed. So don't even try it. Go with your gut and message them to see if you can get some samples first. But yeah, I love Bobbi Brown's aesthetic that as we get older, we're moving beyond that thick foundation look. Although I do have my days where I want to wear that. Moving on to the lighter, number 6, and I'm going to go over what I put on to color correct. So I'm going to put some of this up here. And then I'm just going to go in my tear trough. That's it. And maybe just a little bit below. You can tell already that this one is lighter. I did the test, and these were the recommended eye pencils based on what I plugged in for the recommendations. And this is not an eye pencil you can rub. Like this one you can rub. It's creamier. This one you can't rub. You have to pat it. But I'm going to tell you it's not going anywhere. So take a look. Do you like this one or do you like this one? I took my nails off. I did the glue-on nails and left them on. Let's see, I did them on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 4 days. And I couldn't deal anymore. I couldn't deal with those nails. First of all, they were too long. I didn't cut them. And I can't type. I make all kinds of mistakes. And when I got home yesterday after working 9 to 5, I just said, these are coming off. The Jones Road A Miracle Balm. You're supposed to break the seal. So that's what I'm doing. Ooh, that was satisfying. That was satisfying. Let me see if it smells any different. It's got a beautiful scent, but not as strong as the WT foundation. But I got to tell you, I really love that spa smell. This is a lighter spa smell. So I'm just going to put this all over my face. I am going to put this all over my face. I am going to bring a little bit of this down my neck. Now this has a little bit of sparkle to it. So if you don't like that, you're not going to like this. But it's spring, we're into summer, and maybe I want to sparkle today. Can you see it? this does feel tackier to me, but it does give me a slight tan look, doesn't it? I like that it gives me a color, like almost like a bronze color. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm going to put on some cream blush. I'm going to use a clean brush. I'm using the Confident again. I'm not sure how I feel about this. My cream blush is going on a little blotchy. So I'm going to have to work this into the Miracle Balm. Magic Hour. I can see why they call it Magic Hour, because it does give your skin a reflective glow. I think that looks really fresh. I'm going to take a little bit of my LYS bronzer, but I'm not going to draw it on. I'm going to use the brush that I used to put my blush on, and I'm just going to drag it across on the clean side and just tap that in. Wow, it's so pigmented. And then I'm only going to put some, I'm not going all the way back. Now I'm going to take a different brush that's clean, and I'm going to draw that up into the blush. Probably would be better off using my fingers, but all right, let's go under here. One thing that I'm going to say is when I use the Tinted Serum foundation from Clarins, it really received this cream bronzer, and it really received the cream blush. But on another note, it's not going to go anywhere with this Miracle Balm. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, you want to talk about a base. Wowza. Wowza. All right, let's move on a little bit. I'm going to go back with the Bobbi Brown pencil, and I'm going to redo this spot, these spots, which, you know, she recommends that you do it after. It's not, they're not covering up my cherry moles at all, but those are tough. Let's try these spots right here. That worked. That worked. That worked. And I am going to set this. It's not as tacky. See, the thing is you're not supposed to put a lot of this on your skin. Like this will last me probably, I don't know how many years, even if I were using it every day. Ugh, love the smell. I haven't forgotten about the topic that I started discussing with you guys today. Reprogramming a conditioned thought or conditioned thoughts patterns. I haven't forgotten. I'm going to talk more about that when I do my eye makeup and my lipstick. So I'm going to take the tinted powder from Jones Road, which I love. I love it. It looks really yellow, but it doesn't go on that way. And I'm going to tap the residual in the component, then tap my brush. And I am going to set this. I like to set my makeup around where I'm going to touch. My nose, my chin, along my chin, in the creases, and straight up the center. I am probably going to use this up in no time because I love it so much. I'm not reaching for any other powder. You know, I really like my Fit Me powder, but it's too dark for my skin. Okay, so if I still want that glow here, but I want to protect the rest of my face where I touch, maybe draw it up to here, I'm going to use the powder to set it. This is really, really natural. When I first put this on, I was getting worried because my face was tingling. And I do have allergic reactions to some products. So I wanted to make sure that was okay. All right, this is how I'm going. I'm not putting on any other makeup. Just doing my eye makeup, and we're going to do that right now. I'm going to put some eyeliner on here. I am using my Sephora Colorful Eye Crayon. You can use this as an eyeshadow too, but this is black. So, and I'm just going to run this across the top of my eyelid, close to my eyelashes. I told you guys I don't tight line anymore. I know a lot of you tight line. Please don't judge me. I just have some things going on with my eyes. And if you watch any optometrist or any ophthalmologist on YouTube, they will tell you not to tight line. So if you're going to tight line, go between your eyelashes. But don't do what I say. Research it yourself. Especially if you're going to wear contacts. Have you ever seen anybody with a cold sore in their eye? I have. Have you ever seen anybody with an eye infection that won't go away? I have. I jumped on the bandwagon of tight lining because it's a technique for makeup. And I thought, oh, I've never really done that before. Sephora Colorful Eye Crayons are amazing. Once you get them on, you need eye makeup to get them off. The topic, How do you reprogram your conditioned thoughts? Well, first you have to recognize that they're even there. A lot of us don't recognize this because we are so conditioned. And then once we recognize that we have a conditioned thought pattern or thought process, then we can go about deciding how we want to change it. So usually the first step is recognition. The second step is practice. So as that thought comes in, that conditioned thought, or that you're about to make a conditioned response, catch yourself. You know, if you only knew how many times I went to go, I'm not going to say anything. I've said that to my customers. I've said that to my husband. I've said that to my kids. I'm keeping my mouth shut. And the reason is I'm trying to change the way I react and the way I respond. Am I going to mess up? Are you going to mess up? Oh, you bet you're going to mess up. And when you mess up, there will most likely be ramifications involved. You will most likely be told by somebody that what you said wasn't nice, or how you responded wasn't very nice. And the people that love you and care about you are going to tell you. And really, those are not the people that we want to tell us these things. Correct? So, yeah, the first thing is going to be recognizing that you're doing it. The second thing is going to be taking the step to not do what you normally do. And the third thing is going to be, as you are patient with yourself, you are going to start to see results. But as I go along, I notice that I have to do that less and less, because I am now retraining my brain to respond differently, to choose the words differently. And I'd like to also add another technique to not reacting. Take a step back. Take a step back from whatever the situation is. Even if somebody throws something at you that like catches you off guard. That is one of the techniques that I would recommend, is that you take a step back. And I hope that those tips help you. You're not going to see results right away. You're going to have to make some mistakes, but it is possible to reprogram these negative patterns. Now, if you like the way you are and you don't want to reprogram those patterns, then don't reprogram them. Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I have to tell you one of the things that I did. My husband told me that I was talking a certain way. And I'm like, you're crazy. I don't talk like that. He's like, yeah, you do. You do. Your tone is really abrasive. And I said, no, it's not. So I taped myself. I just randomly one day, even though I knew that I was on camera, I made myself forget about it. I walked away. I had my audio on. I walked away and I got to doing what I was doing in the kitchen and completely forgot that my audio was on. And we were having this discussion about something that, could potentially turn into a very, very heated discussion. And it got a little heated. I'm not going to lie. It got a little heated. And when I played it back, I was shocked. I was shocked at my tone. It was loud. And it had a sarcastic twang to it. And I really wanted to change that. So, one of the ways that I started to change that recently was I turned my body around so that he couldn't see me. And I started to take a deep breath. And I would just breathe in and let out, still trying to process what he was saying or what he wanted to talk about. And I forced myself not to react right away. I forced myself not to be sarcastic. I forced myself to lower my voice. I forced myself to respond politely, clearly, not exaggerated, and kindly. Now, it didn't work right away because now he knows me. My husband knows me. And he knows my flaws. And interestingly, I thought it was going to change right away, but it didn't. I thought, okay, I'm doing this and it's going to change. I thought, he's gonna recognize that I'm, being polite and I'm not being sarcastic, or I'm not raising my voice, or I'm not saying, you interrupted me, or hello, or whatever. It took about a month of me being intentional, conscious awareness of how I wanted to change my tone and all of that. So don't give up. You can reprogram a conditioned thought, a conditioned response, conditioned reactions, but it's not going to happen overnight, but it is possible. So, my friends, I need to go. I'm going to give you guys an affirmation card, and I'll see you in the next video. Here's one. Is this not perfect? I am taking the time I need. I am taking the time I need. Take the time you need to reprogram your thoughts, to reprogram your reactions. You have to want to do it. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to want to do it. But I'm telling you, if you do, you will be happier. You will see other people responding positively to you. You will see your relationships get better. You will see everything get better. And you might even see your finances get better because you may end up getting a raise at your job. So think about these things, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. You know I love ya. I'm gonna bloop you off.